A fragile hope ceasefire talks in Doha. The world watches as ceasefire talks conclude in Doha. These talks aim to bring an end to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Mediators work tirelessly to find common ground between Israel and Hamas. The situation is dire with a pressing need for a resolution. High-ranking officials from various countries gathered in Doha. The talks come amidst escalating tensions and a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The shadow of a potential Iranian attack on Israel looms large. This adds another layer of complexity to the already fragile negotiations. The assassination of Hamas's former political leader, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran, further complicates matters. Despite the challenges, mediators presented a bridging proposal. This proposal aims to address key issues. These issues include the release of hostages held by Hamas. They also include the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Finally, the release of Palestinian prisoners held in Israel is a major point of contention. Bridging the divide, proposals on the table. The mediators have worked diligently to find common ground. Their proposal builds upon areas where Israel and Hamas have already found agreement. The specifics of the proposal remain confidential. However, its existence signifies progress. The hope is that this proposal will lead to a swift implementation of a ceasefire. However, significant obstacles remain. These sticking points could derail the entire peace process. One major hurdle is the sequencing of the hostage-prisoner exchange. Both sides have strong opinions on how this should be handled. The number of Palestinian prisoners to be released is also a point of contention. Roadblocks to peace, the sticking points. The extent of Israeli troop withdrawal from Gaza is another major sticking point. Hamas demands a complete withdrawal. They see this as a non-negotiable precondition for any ceasefire agreement. Israel, on the other hand, has concerns about its security. This makes a full withdrawal a difficult pill to swallow. Adding fuel to the fire is the stance of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. His position on these critical issues has drawn criticism. Some accuse him of caving to pressure from the far-right members of his coalition. This, they argue, undermines the peace process. Section 4. Hamas's stance, demands, and concerns. Hamas has made its position clear. The group prefers a ceasefire proposal put forward by US President Joe Biden back in May. They see this proposal as a more viable path to peace. Engaging in further negotiations, they argue, is not productive. The Biden proposal outlines a three-phase plan. This plan includes the release of hostages as a first step. This is followed by a ceasefire agreement to stop the immediate violence. The release of Palestinian prisoners is also a key component. Finally, the plan calls for a reconstruction plan for Gaza. This aims to address the humanitarian crisis. Section 5. The Biden proposal, a glimmer of hope. The assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh raises serious concerns. His death throws the group's willingness to negotiate into question. Haniyeh was seen as a relative moderate. His successor, Yahya Sinwar, is a hardline leader based in Gaza. This shift in leadership could make reaching a deal even more challenging. Despite these challenges, Hamas maintains its openness to a deal. However, the group insists on the fulfillment of its demands. This includes a complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. They also demand an end to restrictions on the movement of people within Gaza. Another key demand is an end to Israel's veto power over the release of Palestinian prisoners. Finally, they want Israel's presence at key border crossings to cease. Section 6. High stakes, the future hangs in the balance. The latest round of talks carries immense significance. It represents a concerted effort to end the war in Gaza. The release of hostages is another pressing issue. Adding to the urgency is the potential Iranian attack on Israel. The volatile situation in the region demands a swift resolution. The international community watches with bated breath. The outcome of these talks has far-reaching consequences. It will impact the lives of Israelis and Palestinians directly. But the stability of the entire region is also at stake. These are high-stakes negotiations with no clear outcome in sight.